Hi, Sally Ann here. The women that I work with who stick with healthy eating long term don't do it perfectly. They've let go of all or nothing thinking and they've learnt something different. Today, I want to share what they do instead and how you can start doing it too. So, the pattern that often keeps women stuck in a way of eating that they're not happy with is what I term that all or nothing way of eating, where you're either on track or off track with healthy eating. And you define that by whether you're sticking to a new diet or perhaps a healthy meal plan that you've put together for yourself. And the thinking around food and yourself is very much about good versus bad, with the good foods being those whole unprocessed foods and the bad ones being the processed ones that are high in fat and sugar, perhaps chocolate, chips, ice cream, those sorts of foods that often play another role in our life as well. But unfortunately, when you eat the bad foods, you feel bad as well. And you can fall into that habit of saying, oh, I'll just start again tomorrow, or I'll just start again on Monday. Now, this might sound like the right approach to healthy eating, just eat the good foods, cut out the bad ones. But this way of thinking is precisely what stops you from being consistent. The women in my coaching programs that succeed with long-term eating do something very different. They stop trying to be perfect. They stop starting over. They stay connected. They stay aware and stay in the process of eating, even if it's messy. And a messy eating situation that is quite common is I ate too much chocolate. And the old pattern of thinking, which is the all or nothing thinking, would perhaps go like this. I've blown it. So you eat more chocolate because you mostly enjoy it, but you also think about removing the temptation, from eating it tomorrow or the next day. And the commitment is I'll start again tomorrow or I'll start again on Monday. But because my clients stay connected to their experience of eating, they may take a pause halfway through and notice I'm not actually enjoying this that much now. And after that pause, a client may keep on eating if they choose to, or actually stop eating. And then there's just a small, brief reflection afterwards about, well, what was going on for me here with this chocolate? I actually experimented with this myself, and my clients love this story. It was winter, and sometimes in winter after the evening meal I like to sit in front of the fire and enjoy a couple of squares of chocolate. And this particular occasion I broke off 5 squares. It was a row, a small block of chocolate, and I ate the first one and really enjoyed it, and the second one was really great as well. But by the time I'd had the third square, it was like, I'm really not enjoying this that much. But I kept going. The fourth one was a bit of a struggle. And by the time I'd had the fifth square, because I'd been eating mindfully, I noticed how sticky my tongue was, how my mouth felt a little bit gluggy, my stomach felt a little queasy, because I had just eaten too much for me in that eating occasion. So what we're doing with this awareness is really taking the focus off the food that we're eating and on to the eating experience. How is this actually making me feel? And awareness is a win, even if it occurs halfway through the eating experience. I just want to take a pause here and talk about perfect eating and what it is and what it isn't. There is no such thing as perfect eating, and I'm sharing that with you from my own experiences of eating, but also working as a dietitian for over 30 years. I have seen fad diets come and go. Some of them have come and gone several times, just with different titles. And I've worked with thousands of women over that period of time. There's not one way of eating that suits everyone. And there's not necessarily one way of eating that's going to suit you for your entire life. So, this idea of perfect eating is really setting you up to fail because there is no such thing. And as I said before, when we stop trying to achieve something that's really not achievable and connect with our experience of eating, then the focus goes off food and onto observing whether the choices we are making are actually meeting our needs. Do we feel more nourished when we eat, or do we feel more nourished when we step outside and take a walk around the garden? This awareness of eating is an important part of a mindful eating approach and being able to sustain healthier eating long term. It's not about following rules, it's about noticing what's going on for you around food. And it's coming from a place of curiosity rather than judgment. And I explain the approach in our free resource, The 5 Steps to a New Way of Eating, which you're most welcome to download. And I've included the link to that resource in the show notes. I also want to mention that choosing to not eat perfectly does not mean that you're careless. It doesn't mean that you have an attitude of anything goes, but it's allowing you to be flexible, responsive, and realistic. And that mindfulness approach is what allows you to keep going. And the way mindful eating works in real life is in degrees. It's not realistic to eat mindfully 100% of the time. Sometimes, and ideally, awareness comes before eating. Sometimes it comes while you're eating. And sometimes it comes after you've actually finished your meal or snack. If we go back to our chocolate eating example, being mindful before we start eating the chocolate might look something like this. I feel like eating some chocolate. I then check in to see if I'm hungry, and I realize I'm not hungry. So I might inquire, if I'm not hungry, why do I feel like eating chocolate? And there are many responses to that question. But the common one is, I feel like eating something sweet. And from this point, I may go on to choose to eat some chocolate, or I may not. I may choose not to eat anything at all, or I might decide, well, yes, I do want something sweet, but on this occasion, I actually feel like having some fruit. And as I shared earlier, mindful eating might kick in during eating. You're sitting down, eating your chocolate from the chocolate bar, and you might notice how sweet the chocolate is. Or you may find yourself saying to yourself, oh, I'm eating chocolate. How did I end up here? We have to remember that old habits, they're occurring in the background. They're not at our conscious level. So before we know it, we've been to the cupboard, we've taken out the chocolate, we're sitting down on the couch or standing at the kitchen bench, and we've started eating. Habits occur on autopilot. So when we notice that we're actually eating chocolate, we might pause and reflect, well, is this what I actually feel like right now? And another way you might pause during the experience of eating chocolate is that your body is giving you some feedback. You're enjoying the chocolate you're eating, or your body might be saying, look, Sally-Ann, I think you've had enough chocolate. It might be time to stop. And sometimes you might not mindfully reflect on eating chocolate until you've finished the portion that you are eating. By connecting with how your body feels after eating the chocolate, you can still observe whether the chocolate was a positive experience or not. And a simple practice that I encourage my clients to do when they've been in that situation where they've eaten something and thought, oh my goodness, I've just eaten something without any awareness, is just to ask, how can I do this differently next time? And just remember, the moment that you become aware is the moment that mindful eating begins. And that really doesn't matter if it's before during, or after eating. But what I really hope that you're noticing here is that there's no blame, there's no guilt, there's no harsh words coming from an inner critic, but rather a kind reflection on how you can better nourish yourself next time, either with food or a different activity. When you understand that awareness can happen at any point, you remove that expectation of having to get it right from the very start. And when you stop expecting perfection, you don't fall into that whole cycle of I've blown it. And when you don't feel like you've blown it, there's no need to start over again. So the shift I'm really talking about here for my clients who successfully maintain healthier eating long term is going from either thinking about their eating as being perfect or failed, being on track or off track, to an approach to eating which is about being connected with the eating experience and learning as you go so you can truly understand what healthy eating means for you, because we are all unique. Long-term healthy eating comes from letting go of that all or nothing thinking. It's encouraging yourself to stay connected to the experience of eating and practicing awareness in those various degrees. The women who succeed with their eating aren't the ones who get it right every time. They're the ones who stay with the process even when they don't. If you're ready to stop starting over again and really build a consistent and healthier way of eating, then I encourage you to explore our free resource, The 5 Steps to a New Way of Eating. It explains mindful eating and the eating for you approach. But if you're ready for some more support, then please book in for a free mindful eating strategy call. In our 30 minutes together, we'll have time to outline a plan for you and talk about what will help you to actually put that plan into action. The links to the free resource and my booking calendar are included with the show notes. Thanks for listening, and if you have enjoyed this episode, please let me know and share it on your social media pages. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you don't miss our following episodes. I look forward to sharing with you again next week.